In Lebanon, a beach is more than just a beach.
This is like our second home, maybe our first, I don't know. I read here, we have our celebrations here, or even when you lose somebody, we've always met here, gathered here to commemorate them.
On paper, all of Lebanon's shoreline, like this beach, is free to the public.
You cannot build on it, you cannot sell it. It should remain open to the public.
But decades of private development have taken up most of the coast, up to 80%, according to one estimate. Now, in the midst of an economic crisis and inequality fueled by decades of corruption, some beachgoers are fighting back.
So I can't walk on the coast, I can't access the coast, and even I can't see the coast.
Using a 100-year-old law, they're taking on investors, politicians, and developers to reclaim what they say should be a right for all Lebanese people.
It's enough. It's enough. Enough with your corruption. We need a break. The people need a break. We need a fresh air. Yeah.
To understand how we got here, we need to go back 100 years, when the French, who had colonized Lebanon at the time, decided to pass a law based on ancient Roman principles that the coast should remain common to all mankind, for fishing and as a buffer to erosion.
The law that was enacted in 1925 defines what is the public maritime domain, and it is all the sandy beaches and all the pebble beaches, and its limit, it's where the highest wave reaches during winter.
Basically, most of this free to the public. But in the 1960s, the Lebanese government started issuing decrees to permit some building along the coast to attract tourism and investment.
The act of occupying the public maritime domain should be exceptional and temporary, and you shouldn't build with concrete. But this decree was used as an excuse for everybody who wanted to build a resort on the coastline.
And slowly, this became this. Today, the coastline is scattered with hotels, resorts, and restaurants, fueling an industry that brings in $9 billion a year, according to the tourism minister. Some charge as much as $50 to access the beach. That's more than half a month's salary for someone on minimum wage here.
Those resorts are relying on tourism, but the Lebanese people, they have no capacity to access their own beach. Yeah, this is the tank of the...
Mohammed Ayoub is the director of Nahnu, an NGO campaigning for more public beaches. A few years ago, he and his team started mapping out Lebanon's entire coastline, marking what is accessible to the public and what's not. And they're fighting to make sure the accessible beaches stay that way. Beaches like Abu Ali.
Hi,
This is Maggie Najem, an activist who grew up in Batroun, 5 minutes down the road. She says that a few years ago, someone started putting up walls, fences, and even a gate around Abu Ali Beach. And she believed it was connected to the owner of this small house that had been on the beach for decades.
When people showed up, it became real that something, you know, a restaurant or something was going to open here. We formed a team and we started guarding the area here because we can't rely on the officials.
She contacted Nahnu and they decided to help.
So we organized a demonstration and we were saying we want to demolish this house and we want to demolish other resorts are building illegally.
After sustained pressure, they were successful, and Lebanon's Ministry of Public Works and Transport ordered the building to be demolished.
It was just a feeling inside, you know, partly disbelief, partly woohoo, you know. And what's next? It's not the only place that needs to be liberated.
not all cases turn out like Abu Ali Beach. Cynthia Batroun works at the Beirut Urban Lab, which has been investigating the development of some of Lebanon's biggest resorts.
The increasing number of tourists is also increasing the appetite of these private investors who want to take over the coast more and more.
They found these developments are often built through a web of different decrees and regulations that blur the line between what is public and private on the beach.
And what you find ultimately is a regulatory environment that's full of contradictions that deliberately creates this environment of murkiness where people start saying, well, where does really this public domain stop? We don't really know.
Take this beach here. Technically, this is a public beach, but zoom out and you get this, the Eden Bay Hotel.
Eden Bay is a hotel that was built on the coast. It was built on the last remaining public beach of Beirut in Ramlet Al Bayda.
And while anyone can access this beach, everyone we spoke with, including an Eden Bay representative, told us that it's only really hotel guests who use it. Its construction in 2018 sparked an immediate backlash, making it a sort of poster child for commercial developments operating with impunity.
People even charged the kind of the wall separating the street from the hotel and broke a hole through it, which I think is still there.
The president of the Order of Engineers and Architects produced a report in which he showed that the project was fully illegal, and the project anyway continued.
The Beirut Urban Lab says major investors in the project are well connected politically.
The guy who was in the face called Wissam Ashur. He is a big investor. He came, he bought a land that you can't build on it by law. This is a very powerful hotel.
We reached out to Wissam Ashur and his real estate company involved in constructing the Eden Bay, but did not receive a response in time.
Yeah, that's pretty good. This is fun. Yeah.
Eden Bay granted us an interview for this video, but when we asked them about the backlash to their development, they stopped the interview and asked us to leave.
It's a public issue يعني مش just to attract audience. It's a public issue and a public debate. So عشان هيك سألته. It's reporting إنه.
We followed up, but they again refused to comment. The president of the Syndicate of Beaches and Resorts said the Lebanese government, both national and local, needed to bring some clarity to the issue of the Eden Bay and private resorts in general, but that overall, the industry is a net positive for the country.
واضح اللي كان بلبنان اللي هو بلبنان السنة إنه الاقتصاد السياحي هو اليوم الحطب هو القاطرة اللي عم بتقود الاقتصاد لقدام هو اللي عم بيدخل العملة الصعبة على البلد نحن بأزمة اقتصادية كتير كبيرة.
Coastlines around the world are changing, some due to erosion and sea level rise, others due to development and privatization. In Italy, NGOs estimate that more than 50% of the beaches cost money to access, and a 2015 legal case in the UK found out that more than half the country's coastline was closed off to the public. When we told one expert on public beaches about Lebanon's 80-20 ratio, this was their reaction.
That's shocking. I mean, that's one of the worst I've ever heard. I think that's appalling. There's nothing like that.
And while build-up along Lebanon's coast has been decades in the making, it has taken on new meaning in recent years. A symbol of inequality and corruption in a country where 10% of the people own about 70% of the wealth.
Lebanon experienced one of the world's worst economic crises in 2020. And that came amid COVID and then a deadly explosion that destroyed most of the capital, Beirut, in August 2020. Services are collapsing, the government has no presence, security is disintegrating. The only thing we have going for us is going to the beach during summer.
I would never pay money to get to a beach, never. If you go to privatized beaches, you will see young people or a certain social class. But here you see everyone from all walks of life, all ages. And that's the beauty of it. It's a public space that's missing in Lebanon. That is the way beaches are supposed to be.
Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please give us a like and subscribe so we can show you more.